Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Giovanni and today we are going to be going over all the books that I read in the month of February, as well as going over my to be read list for the month of February. So let's go ahead and get started because there is a lot to cover here. So I do have my handy dandy Goodreads up and it feels like February is only 28 days and it feels like it went by really fast, but I can't even remember the beginning of the month. But I know that, so the first book that I read for the month of February was Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. That one I gave it a 4 out of, what is my hair doing? That one I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely a better read of hers compared to a lot of the ones that I've read from her. For that one, I just feel like the characters were such like sad boy and sad girl, let's be sad together. Storyline was like pretty sad though, especially for the girl. So I think that's kind of just what tugged at my heartstrings and made me enjoy it a little bit better. So that one I definitely recommend. It's definitely a little bit higher up there. Not as good as Verity or Layla, but I would definitely recommend it versus like the Maybe Now series or the, what was the other one? The It Ends With Us and the It Starts With Us. Those are very okay. But Heartbones, I would definitely recommend if you like more of the sadder stuff. So next book that I read for the month of February was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Oh, just to let y'all know, these, yeah, multiple books are ones that I read on my Kindle, so that's why I have my phone out. But Perfect Marriage, I gave it a 5 star. This one I definitely enjoyed. It was like the typical books that I read for like my genre of thrillers that I enjoy. The only thing though that I didn't really like, and this is a very minor spoiler, is I'm getting pretty tired of the main character not being honest with you and then you find that out at the very end. So I just feel like that's just a little too overused for me now and they just need to come up with something better. But I still gave it 5 stars just because of the whole storyline was really good and I enjoyed reading it. But I think I'm gonna stay a little bit away from them for a little while just because I'm starting to not enjoy them anymore. The third book that I read for the month of February was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I know everyone really enjoys it. This was my first book that I read from her and I liked it. The storyline was really good. But I was just, gosh, like 7 husbands, that's a little excessive. So I did read another one of her books earlier. When was it? Oh, I read it right after this one. So Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I would recommend, but I don't think I've read enough of her work to say that I genuinely enjoy all of her work. But I think I need to change this. So my fourth book for the month of February, I did read After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That one I ended up giving 5 stars, but I'm a little confused as to why I did that. So this book is basically about this couple that's been together for a long time and they just start to like fall out of love with each other. They're just like arguing all the time and they don't know what to do. So they decide to split up for a whole year and not talk to each other and see where they're at a year from then to see if they still love each other or what is the next course of action. Everything could have been resolved if they just talked everything out. So whole storyline was good, but as far as their marriage issues, this could have been a really short book if they had just talked about everything. So that frustrated me, but it was definitely a, you know, cutesy little love book that I am not used to reading. So that's kind of why I wanted to read it and get more into the romantic genre. But yeah, only thing that I didn't like was everything could have just been talked out. And sometimes the characters were just, the two main characters, the husband and the wife, like they're just livid with each other, but it's like, well, why don't you just tell them that you're upset? That's just my 2 cents. Yeah. But next book that I read was a physical book, and it was Gerald's Game by Stephen King. This one I rated 3 stars out of 5. I had heard that this wasn't one of his best books, but it sounded really interesting to me. I saw that there was a movie about it, so I wanted to watch the movie as well. The only thing that's so weird, and I know this is just Hollywood, but I haven't seen the movie yet, but I saw like the little trailer of it, and they always make the characters so much more hotter than they do in the books, because in the books the guy's kind of like, you know, why did she marry this guy? That is one thing that I still cannot comprehend to this day, why she married him. If she just seemed like she was so unattracted to him, and they were together for like 20 something years. But I did have some like unanswered questions about it. Like there was voices that she would hear in her head, and it seemed like that was something going on since she was little, and they were just really reoccurring when she was stuck to the bedpost. So I feel like the book would have been a lot shorter if she didn't have those delusions, but whatever. One thing I did not like about this book more than anything, and it just drives me insane, was, you know, so obviously if you know what it's about, her husband dies and she is stuck to the bedpost, and this was after trying to do some kinky things. He dies in the middle of it, and so she's left there. So it's like, how is she gonna get out? And for how long that she was actually there, how long was this? This book was 450 pages. I read 50 pages of her trying to get a glass of water. Like, he just wrote in such detail about her trying to get a freaking glass of water, which I get. You're thirsty and you're stuck there, and you've been stuck there for days, but I don't think he needed to be that descriptive with how much... Can y'all hear my stomach grumble? I don't think he needed to be that descriptive with how much, you know, she was trying to, you know, get the freaking water. But I read it. I'm trying to read all of his books, so I, you know, didn't expect too much from this, but I just needed to read it. Next book. I did read Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller. This one I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I just feel like it had good intentions, but it just wasn't that interesting to me. I would still recommend it though to people that want a better understanding of relationships. I feel like just because it didn't really do much for me, just like, I'm married, I'm settled, so, you know, we are who we are, and, you know, we don't have any issues. So it's, I definitely looked at it as more of my past of like what I did wrong and what other people did wrong to me. I was definitely more of the toxic one, but I mean, it's good to admit it, but I would definitely recommend that one to others, just because, you know, you might learn something about yourself, you might learn something about the person that you're with, or you might learn how to figure something out, you know, an obstacle that y'all are going through. So I would still recommend that book, even though it wasn't the best nonfiction book that I've read. After that, Oh, where's that one? I read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and this one, I rated it 5 stars. This one was truly terrifying. I was so afraid to read it at night. Definitely a really short book. It wasn't on my TBR list for the month of February, but I had time, and so I was like, you know what, I'll just pick this one up. It's a short read, and I heard such great things about it, and it definitely lived up to its hype and expectations that I had. So with this book, the girl is lost in the Appalachian Trail, like in the forest there in New Hampshire, and she's just trying to find her way back to civilization. Along the way, she has her little Walkman radio, which I don't think I've ever seen those before in my life, but she has her Walkman, and she's using that with the radio to hear the Red Sox when Tom Gordon's playing, because that's her favorite player, and it kind of just makes her feel like she's walking with him and giving her that hope. She says throughout the book, like, you know, if this radio dies, I'm basically giving up hope with everything. So, a little bit of side note, when I was about, I want to say 11 years old, I got lost in the forest at my sister's birthday party, which granted, like, there was a lot of kids running around, so why would you have a birthday party in a forest? I wasn't lost as long as she was. I was definitely found later that day, but it's because I found the freaking trail. But just reading the book, it kind of hurt me. It brought back really ugly memories. And like, shout out to this girl for being able to stick through on her own, because just thinking about that is like really hard for me. But definitely something that I don't talk about much, because actually I don't even want to get into it, but I definitely recommend this book if you're looking for something more of a thriller, creepy book. I believe the like scary character in it, I forgot what his name was, because it doesn't get mentioned in here. It just mentions like the being itself. He is actually in Pet Sematary, so it's cool that I've read enough to where I'm starting to see recurring characters. So I would definitely recommend this book to anyone, especially because of how short of a read it is. I know some people are really intimidated by larger books, so definitely recommend. The next book I actually ended up DNFing was Tender in the Flesh by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love The Great Gatsby. I love the way that it was written, but so I kind of assumed that I would like this book, but I ended up not liking it. And granted, I only read, I think, 10% of the way through, and so I was like, you know what, like, this just isn't for me. I'm gonna DNF it. Maybe I would have liked it more if I gave myself more time to read it, but I have over 150 books on just my Kindle. Like, that's not even including all of these books that I have, my physical books that I still have to read. So I was like, I really don't have time for this. If I don't like it, I'm gonna switch to something else. So that is where we're at. So that was all the books that I read for the month of February. So going into the month of March, I do have a book that I'm reading right now that I will more than likely not be able to finish by tomorrow, because I'm filming this February 27th. But I am currently reading Pyre of the Orange Tree and annotating it. So I believe this, like this right here, this video is probably gonna go up before this video goes up. So I'm letting y'all know right now to stay tuned for that. I am doing a whole video of Pyre of the Orange Tree, annotating it. This is my first time annotating a book, and I am going to give y'all my thoughts on it with very minimal spoilers. But I have 500, I have about 260 pages left. I won't be able to finish that by tomorrow, but that's why it is part of my February reads, but also going into my March TBR list. So that's why it's there. And now going into the next books that I'm going to be reading for the month of March is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. It's going to be the prequel to this book. I'm gonna go pick that up tomorrow, so that's why it's not here. But yeah, I'm going to buy that, the physical hardcover copy tomorrow when it comes out, and I will pick up and read that one right after I finish this one. And then for my next books, I'm actually going to try to read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So in total, that's 6 books for the month of February. Definitely got 3 out of the 5 being larger books here. So 6 books, that is a lot to accomplish, because I do want to try and annotate these as well. So we will see. It's a very aggressive TBR list for the month of February, but we'll see what happens. So along with these books, reading Pyre and A Day of Fallen Night, if I get a chance, I really want to read A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. That one is a huge book as well. So like I said, very aggressive reads for the month. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them, just because I have such a busy month in the month of March. Just with doctor's appointments coming up. My baby turns 2. So we have a lot going on aside from that. And then I have a lot of training at work. So who knows how much time I will actually have to read. But that is everything for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If someone give me book recommendations, because I feel like I'm running out of books. Like, I have 150 plus books on my Kindle, and I just feel like I'm running out of things that I feel like reading right now. So someone send me book recommendations, because your girl's dying over here. Like, I need some. But thank y'all so much for watching today's video, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.